Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to a 9:30 edition Facebook Live. I just had a nugget weighing on my mind and I just wanted to share it with everyone. And it's probably one of my newest teachings when it comes to helping investors overcome their own objections. Right? One thing I've learned that is the biggest bottleneck for successful real estate investors is the objections they give themselves on why that lead sucks, is the things they tell themselves to not try as hard. And I've just found out this one simple habit that so many investors are doing that is stopping them from being successful. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you right now. All right, so it is a very simple saying, and as soon as I say it, you're going to get it. Don't put distress in a box. Okay? Now, what I mean by that is stop thinking you understand what someone else's distress looks like. Stop thinking that people only want to sell just because their piece of land is tax delinquent. They only want to sell because they're an out-of-state owner. They only want to sell because they're a pre-foreclosure. They only want to sell because they're a probate. They only want to sell because it's a driving for dollars list and the house looks ugly on the outside. I think anyone who's been pursuing any of those kinds of lists that I just brought up already know that most of the people they reach out to don't want to sell. You can call 500 pre-foreclosure people and you'll be lucky to find one who wants to sell. Okay, so what we think distress looks like is actually gravely hurting our businesses and our success. Because you think that distress is only one of 6 things. If something doesn't meet your criteria right away, you flake on it. And you think it's okay to flake on it. Because hey, they're not late on any payments. They don't have any huge gaping problems that they told me about. These are not quality indicators. Have you earned their trust enough for them to tell you what's going on in their life? I like to remind all of my clients that everybody has a reason to distress. Every single person. We're all distressed for one reason or another. And to be honest with you, it's not just people that are in financially tough decisions. They're not the only distressed people. I'd actually wager to say that wealthy people have a lot more reasons to be distressed about. Okay? Whenever you're distressed and you don't have a lot of money, the only thing you want is money. Whenever you have a lot of money and you're distressed, the only thing you want is peace. And we real estate investors keep accidentally thinking we know what distress looks like. My clients say it all the time. This lead isn't distressed. Yeah, says who? Did you call them? Did you build a relationship with them? I was like, I'm distressed. I got 5 reasons why I'm distressed. I own a 4-unit in Vermont that is currently under a rental freeze because it has a fire marshal citation on it. I have $36,000 I have to invest into this property before I can rent it again. And guess what? I'm investing in it. But I'm going to sell that son of a bitch when it's done. And I'm probably going to sell it at a discount. It doesn't take a special situation. Stop thinking you understand what distress looks like. I have 1,000 things that make me distressed. You probably do too. And so does everyone else. And what we often forget is distress is relative. Okay? Distress is relative to our lives. You do not dictate what stresses me out. And I don't dictate what stresses you out. Right? It is all based off our current life experiences and situations. And this is why I teach my clients to build a relationship with the seller and focus on leads that are easy to talk to. That is so important. Are they easy to talk to? Okay, and the reason why is if they're easy to talk to, then they might not say the right thing today, but they're going to say the right thing tomorrow or the next day. So many people call me and they go, I only want quality leads, the hottest leads. I said, look, we provide seller leads. Your process turns that lead into quality. Okay, no lead says on the first text message or first phone call that they would love to take 50 cents on the dollar for their property. None. No lead says that. And if they do, it's 1 in 300. It's nothing for you to be waiting around for. What we need is a process that truly converts leads. One of my other sayings is, If your process doesn't convert leads, it doesn't matter how hot the lead is that gets sent to you. The leads will not convert themselves. Are we building a relationship? Are we focusing on the seller? Are we solving their problems? Are we asking real questions? You know, one of my favorite questions is there anything about this property that's causing you to lose sleep at night? Let me tell you what, if I lose sleep, something's got to change. If I'm staying up late, I'm on the wrong path. If I can't sleep because of a tenant or a property, or I'm fighting with my wife because she wants to sell and I'm being stubborn, you know what? I'm not going to lose sleep anymore. Right? I'm going to get rid of whatever that problem is. And I think a lot of people have that. We truly don't understand how bad our problems are until we lose sleep over them. So focusing on what's actually bothering them and coming up with fun, creative ways to figure that out. And then actually solving that problem. It is so important. Stop putting distress in a box. You do not know what someone else's distress looks like. You will know what it looks like if you have the right process. Your process should be able to determine almost every lead's motivating factor. And then it's your job to figure out if that motivation is great enough for you. But you should know their motivating factor every time because of your process. And the real one. You know, they often say you need to go 7 layers deep to find out what's really going on. Find a script that extracts that problem that's a couple layers deep. Right? It could be a bad tenant, but that's just the start. Well, why is the bad tenant a big deal? Why? Because they're not paying, and I'm losing money. And every month I'm losing money. And then in order to get rid of that tenant, I'm going to have to fight them in court for 6 months. And then I'm going to have to pay an attorney $5,000 to get rid of that tenant. The pain keeps going. It's not just the bad tenant. It's everything that comes with the bad tenant. The lack of sleep, the lack of pay, the lack of profits, the lack of desire to keep going. We have to figure out what is really going on in these sellers' lives. Otherwise, we are never going to uncover the true price or the true motivation of this property. And I've been preaching this now for probably the last 3 months. And this actually came to me from one of my acquisition managers. He kept saying to me, Nick, I want to work pre-foreclosure leads, pre-foreclosure leads. I was like, dude, why? Why do you think that those are the only leads? Yeah, they do have a reason to be distressed. But you know what else a pre-foreclosure lead isn't doing? They're not paying rent right now. They're not paying their mortgage. They're living for free. So yeah, while they may be distressed on paper, they're saving $4,000 a month of their mortgage and not paying it. Their budget just got $4,000 richer. How distressed is that person? I always say if a pre-foreclosure person actually decides to sell, then they're also deciding to now go pay rent somewhere else. Go pay a mortgage somewhere else. So in order for a pre-foreclosure to sell their house to you, they have to commit to changing their ways and start paying for their own house. I know people that have been in pre-foreclosure for 3 years and they just keep working the system. Okay? It is so hard. I could never talk that guy into selling, ever. He thinks he's going to ride this gravy train till the end. And my hat's off to him. My hat is off to him. Hey, dude, ride it out as long as you can. Like, I know you're not going to sell me this house, because if you do, you're going to have to pay $3,500 a month to live somewhere else. And that's just not in your budget after not paying it for 3 years. Do you guys see what I'm saying? What is so obvious is not so obvious. All right? We have to dig deep and figure out what is going on. Stop going for obvious distress lists. You are hurting yourself. You're slimming down your chance of success. Okay, it's like you're just making that tip finer and finer and finer. You're making a pinpoint of what will be successful. If your process was superior and your people skills were strong, then you will be able to convert leads no matter what. You need to be talking to people who are interested in selling and then focusing on the ability to find out why they truly want to sell. That is the muscle that we're doing here. We want to find out without them realizing that we're probing them or putting them through a process. And we do that through great questions and great strategies. Now, I teach these strategies in a free course I offer. Okay, it's at the top of my website at leadminingpros.com. It says free REI courses. I teach you exactly how to work the leads so you can stop putting distress in the box. I teach you how to listen to the sellers so you could start actually solving their. I give you a script. I give you 6 of the most popular objections. And then I give you 18 rebuttals. 3 rebuttals each per seller objection. Those are all on the script. And it's because I want you to overcome and ask better questions. Converting a lead is all about asking better questions. And that's exactly why I wanted to make this video today. It is time to stop putting distress in a box. You do not know what makes someone else distressed, and stop thinking that you do. What you want to do is find out what makes someone else distressed. That's what's important. Do that, and you're going to be rich for life. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I wanted to drop that nugget on you. That's been weighing on me. I talk to clients every day. I tell that story to all of a sudden. Recently, every day, stop putting distress in a box. Talk to the leads. Stop taking the leads for granted. Stop bad-mouthing your customers. Your leads are your customers. And in no business across the world is it appropriate to bad-mouth customers. So let's not do that. Let's serve our customers. Let's find out what's bothering them and provide a solution. And through that solution, we make 5, 15. That's what we get paid for, solutions. So go out there and solve those problems and stop putting distress in a box. All right, guys, have a good night.